Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're gonna be dealing with absolute values. The learning objective today is to review the definition of an absolute value, to solve absolute value equations, and to solve absolute value inequalities. You won't be dealing with solving absolute value inequalities as of yet, but slowly but surely we're gonna be approaching that vicinity. But now we need to understand the prerequisite or the fundamentals before we even dive to much complicated equations of absolute values, basically. So, So, what is an absolute value? Absolute value recall that the absolute value of a real number a denoted by an absolute value of a is defined as the distance between zero, the origin, and the graph of that real number on the number line. For example, the absolute value of a negative 3 is going to be equal to 3, and the absolute value of 3 is equals to what? 3. So basically, it says that absolute value is a distance between 0, which is the origin, and the graph of that real number. So this is 0, right? The graph of that real number of 3 is what? The absolute value of the absolute value of 3, it can be what? It can be from negative 3, which means, or else it can be what? It can be 3. Right, because the equation says the absolute value of a negative 3 gives us 3, right? So which is what is the distance between 0 and that graph of that real number. So here we see that negative 3 is going to be from negative 3 to 0, and then from 0 to 3, because we say that an absolute value always speaks what a positive number, and this is not negative 3, this is 3 units. This represents the distance between what? 0 and that real number. So basically this is like the glimpse introduction into absolute values, basically, right? So now we're gonna dive deep into the what? You're gonna dive deep into the solving of the equations of absolute values, basically. Not sure what's doing this now, my mouse. Right, so we're gonna dive deep into solving the equations of absolute values, and hope that we get everything done in time. So basically the first question would be, we're gonna do the first question, right, which is the most basic one, basically. So it says that the absolute value of what? The absolute value of x is equals to what? Is equal to 9. We know that the absolute value can either be positive or it can be negative, right? So the absolute value of 9 can be what? It can be x is equals to 9, or x is equals to what? Negative 9, because we know that if we put 9 into this equation, basically, if we put the absolute value of 9, which is the value of x, it's gonna give us that the absolute value of x is gonna be 9, which is this 9. And then if we put here negative 9 to the absolute value bars, it's gonna give us as what? As the positive value of 9, basically, right? So this is the basic introduction to the absolute values, guys. Just know that, right? So the second question says, okay, let's do the third question, because, okay, let's do the second question anyway. So the second question says that the absolute value of x is equals to what? Is equal to 1, right? Same thing as before, which means the value of x is gonna be equals to 1, or else the value of x is gonna be equals to what? Negative 1, because if you put negative 1 there is the value of x, is going to give you the absolute value of negative 1 is going to be 1, right? Because you're talking about the distance here. We're not talking about the intervals or the integers, basically, specifically, but you're looking at the distance as you saw on that on those notes, right? So yeah, this is the answer. So for the third question, basically, third question the third question says the absolute value of x minus 7 is equals to what? Is equals to 3, right? So yeah, again, how do you solve this? How you solve this is that you know most the absolute value needs to equal to to a what, to a positive number, a positive number, right? So how you solve, we go about this is that you take off the bars first to solve this absolute value. So it's gonna be x minus 7 is equals to 3, or x minus 7 is equals to what, negative 3, right? So how do you solve that? It's gonna be x minus 7 plus 7 is equals to 3 plus 7, or x minus 7 plus 7 is equals to minus 3 plus 7. So the solution would be x is equals to 10, or x is going to be equals to what, minus 4, right? So let's check if the equation, if our answers does satisfy the equation or not, right? So we said our first answer, we said that we need an absolute value that is going to be equals to x minus 7, that is going to equals to what, that is going to equals to 3, right? So for our first answer, we said that we got the answer as 10, right? So let's put in the place of x, we put 10. 10 minus 7 is equals to 3. The absolute value of 10 minus 7 is equals to 3. So let's solve. Say 10 minus 7 is going to be equals to 3, and the absolute value of 3 is equals to 3, right? So which means our answer, this answer here, is correct, right? So let's go to the second one. The second one says that x minus 7 is equals to 3, right? So in the space of x, we put what, we put minus 4. So minus 4 minus 7, right? Now this our answer is not negative 4, it's positive 4 here, because negative 3 plus 7, it's positive 4, right? So let's do this now. Positive 4 plus 7 is equals to 3, right? So positive 4 minus 7 is going to be equals to what? It's going to be equals to negative 3, absolute value of negative 3, which is equals to 3, which is this also, this equation, our answer here does satisfy what? It does satisfy the equation, which is, this is correct, which is good. So let's move to our second question. We're gonna do number 20, because number 20 are much more challenging ones, because you don't want to do a repetitive thing, because this is a tutorial. You need to know how to do tackle different questions, right, than to do repetitive same thing, because I already know this. So just want to show you how it's done, basically, you see, for those that are struggling with mathematics. So it's 3x minus 8 minus 2 is equals to 6. 3x minus 8 minus 2. So an absolute value of 3x minus 8. So let's say absolute value of 3x minus 8 minus 2 is equals to 6. Is equals to 6. So basically what you do here first is to solve the equation, make sure that the equation, it's in a much more simpler format, right? So we need to get rid of what, you need to get rid of this negative 2 first. So how we gonna go about that? It's simple, guys. This is gonna be absolute value of 3x minus 8 minus 2 plus 2 is gonna be equals to 6 plus 2, right? So it's gonna be what, 3x minus 8, right, is equals to what, 6 plus 2, it's what, it's 8, right? And then after doing this, after solving this side, what you're gonna do is you're gonna drop the bars. It's gonna be 3x minus 8 is equals to 8, right? So how you solve this is that you're gonna what, you're gonna say 3x minus 8 plus 8 is equals to 8 plus 8, right? So 3x minus 8 plus 8 is equals to what, 0. So it's 3x is equals to what, 8 plus 8 is going to be equals to 16. Then you divide by 3, and then you divide by 3. Then you're going to get your value of x as what, is 16 over 3, the first value of x, right? And the second value of x, because we said that it needs to equals to a positive number or a negative number, right? So it's gonna be what? 3x minus 8 is gonna be equals to minus 8, right? So how you gonna go about that? Again, it's gonna be simple. It's gonna be 3x minus 8 plus 8 is gonna be equals to minus 8 plus 8. Then it's gonna be 3x is gonna be equals to 0 over 3, and then divided by 3. So x is gonna be equals to 0, right? So now how we're gonna go about this to solve this is, yeah, we've already solved the equation. Now we just need to prove it. We just need to prove it, right? So we were left in the phase of what? So we just need to prove it. So now we said that when the absolute value of 3x minus 8 is equals to what? Is equals to 8, right? So if we substitute this value of x, is gonna be equals to what? It's gonna be 3, and then it's gonna be 16 over 3, right, minus 8 is equals to what? Is equals to 8. So these two cancel each other. We are left with 16 minus 8 is equals to 8. So 16 minus 8 is gonna be equals to 16 minus 8 is gonna be equals to 8. So okay. 16 minus 8 is gonna be 8. Absolute value of 8 is 8, right? Yeah, it is 8. So now let's move on to our second proving. So it was 3x minus 8 again is equals to 8, right? So how are you gonna go about that? Is just gonna say in the space of 3x, you're gonna put the value of x that you found. Minus 8 is equals to 8. So it's gonna be 0. So negative 8, absolute value of negative 8 is 8, right? Which means our value here is actually correct, right? So let's go on to much difficult question. So now we're gonna do 21, 9 plus 21, which is number 21, which says, let me just drag this down. 21, that says what? That says 9 plus what? Plus the absolute value of what? Of 7x plus 1 is equals to what? Is equals to 9, basically, right? So how we're gonna go about this? How we're gonna go about this is that you need to first solve what? We need to first solve what? We need to solve the get rid of what? You need to get rid of this 9 here. You need to get rid of this 9, right? How are we gonna go about that? We're just gonna say 7x plus 1, the absolute value is 10 plus 9 minus 9 is equals to 9 minus 9, right? So the absolute value of 7x plus 1, it needs to equals to what? It needs to equals to 0, right? So how are we gonna go about that to solve that equation? I think we're gonna have one solution, right? Right, okay. So we're gonna drop there. It's gonna be 7x minus plus 1 is gonna be equals to 0. So then it's gonna be 7x plus 1 minus 1 is equals to 0 minus 1, right? So it's 7x is equals to minus 1. What am I doing? It's equals to minus 1, basically, right? So you divide by 7, because you're looking for the value of x. So x is going to be equals to negative 1 over 7. Right. So yeah, that actually is the equation. Right. I think this is the positive answer. I think this is a positive answer, because if we substitute this back into the equation, we're gonna get what? The absolute value of 0, which is 0. Because this 7 is gonna cancel with that what? Is gonna cancel with that 7. You're gonna be left with my negative 1 plus 1, which is 0, which is the absolute value of 0 is gonna be 0. Right, and then we're given that also our absolute value needs to equals to what? It needs to equals to 0 here. Right, yeah. So let's do one last question, number 22. Let's do one last question. Let's do one last question. And let's do not do number 20, because it's gonna yield the same thing. Because if we take 4, it's gonna be minus 4, it's gonna be 0. Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing. So yeah, guys, I think this is the way we're gonna end here today. Okay, or maybe let's do this question. It's gonna be plus 6, and then plus 6 gonna be negative. Yeah, let's do this question. Let's do this question where we won't have any positive answer. Right, and let's do these two questions. Let's do these two questions. Let's do these two ones. So number 28 and number 31. So let's go down. Number 28, 28 and 31. Okay, because I'm gonna drag this down. So number 28 says. Number 28 says what? Number 28 says 12 minus what? 12 minus 5, x minus 2, 28 minus 2 is equals to what? Is equals to 2. So basically how you solve this is gonna be the same way that you're solving the other ones. So what you're gonna have is gonna have negative 5, which is absolute value of x minus 2, and then it's gonna be plus 12 minus 12 is equals to 2 minus 12. Right, then you're gonna be left with what? Is gonna be left with negative 5 x minus 2, and then you're gonna be left with negative what? And with negative 10. Right, then you're gonna divide by the negative 5. You're gonna divide by the negative 5 this side, and then you're gonna have what? You're gonna have x minus 2 is equals to what? It's equals to 2. Right, so how you're gonna go about this? You're just gonna say x minus 2 is gonna equals to 2, or x minus 2 is gonna be equals to negative 2. Right, so it's gonna be x minus 2 plus 2, because you're trying to get rid of this 2 so that you group all the like terms together, plus 2, or x minus 2 plus 2 is gonna be equals to minus 2 plus 2. And then we go where, and then it's gonna be what? It's gonna be x is equals to 4. X is gonna be equals to 4, or x is gonna be equals to what? 0. Right, so we said we were looking for the absolute value of what? Of x minus 2, and it needs to give us the answer as positive 2. Right, so where there's x, you put what? You put the value of x. X minus 2 is equals to 2. So the absolute value of 2 is actually 2. Right, which is, this is correct. Our answer is correct, correct, correct. Or, and then you're looking for the absolute value of x minus 2 again. It needs to give us 2. Right, and then it says that when you put the substitute the value of x that you got here, it's going to be 0 minus 2, which is equals to 2, and then we're going to get what? Negative 2, absolute value of negative 2, which is going to be equals to what? Which is going to be 2 actually. 2 is equals to 2, which is, this answer also is correct. Right, so let's move on to our last question, which is number 31, just to clarify something, because I doubt that I did mention this, but absolute values cannot be equal to a negative number, but you need to show by what? By doing a calculation. Show number 31. Number 31 says, number 31 says, 9, right, plus absolute value of 7x plus 1 is equal to close absolute value power, and then it's going to be equal to 9, right? Number 31. No, that is not number 31. That is not number 31. I'm lying. Number 31 is not that. It's not number 31. Let's do number 31. Number 31 is this one. So it's going to be negative 2, right? 7x minus 1. 7x minus 1. And then it's what? Minus 4 is equals to 2, basically. So how you going to go about this? Again, it's simple. So it's going to say negative 2 7x minus 1, right, minus 4 plus 4 is going to be equals to 2 plus 4, right? So it's negative 2 over, which is 7x multiplied by 7x minus 1 is equals to 6, right? So negative 2 multiplied by the absolute value of 7x minus 1, right? So now we're going to divide by negative 2, right? By negative 2, right? So it's going to be 7x minus 1, right, is equals to what? 6 divided by negative 2 is going to be negative 3, right? So in the solution here, it's what? There's no real solution, so you just can say no real solution. Why I'm saying no real solution? The answer is, the reason is because the absolute value cannot be equal to a negative number. So whenever you have an absolute, whenever you have an equation that says you should solve an absolute value and it needs to, and the equal sign, the equal value is negative, then that absolute value is what? Is non-real, or there's no real solution for it, because the absolute value cannot spit out a negative number. It always spits out what? A positive number. So that's why this solution is non-real, you see. So yeah guys, thank you very much for watching, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this from TikTok, the YouTube channel is on my bio. Click there and you can subscribe, please. Thank you very much, and follow ScienceSavvySiseko for more videos that regarding science and education. Thank you very much. Have a blessed one.